Geschichte erzählen, wenn ich darf. Nach dem Konzert saß ich in meiner Garderobe, da waren relativ viele Leute da, auch von der Staatsoper schon und so.
Do you spend time with your family? Hope everyone is healthy and happy. Now let's get down to business. She had it all, but just a few years after their wedding, Jacqueline du Pré's tearful confession left the world speechless. What happened behind the scenes of her illustrious musical romance with Daniel Barenboim? Watch until the end, because you won't believe what Jacqueline went through behind the scenes. The truth about marriage. In the public eye, the marriage between Jacqueline du Pré and Daniel Barenboim was the definition of perfection. A golden couple in the world of classical music. Their extraordinary talent, their incredible harmony in their duets, and their charisma made them the ideal model of a 1960s artistic romance. They not only fell in love, but also performed together, shining on the most prestigious stages in Europe. Their recordings, especially Elgar's cello concerto, are still considered masterpieces to this day. But the truth, as usual, was more complicated and painful than what we see from the spotlight. The sparkling picture of that marriage began to crack not because of betrayal, but because of the fragility at the core of human nature. It was not until many years after Jacqueline du Pré's death that the public was able to see the hidden side of the ideal marriage iceberg. In 1997, Hilary and Piers du Pré, Jacqueline's sister and brother, published a memoir, A Genius in the Family, which was later made into the film Hilary and Jackie. The book not only revealed admiration for Jacqueline's talent and sensitive soul, but also revealed shocking details about her private life. According to the memoir, in 1971, while struggling with the vague symptoms of multiple sclerosis, MS, Jacqueline suffered a severe psychological crisis. While visiting her sister Hilary's family, while Barenboim was away on business, he became involved in a brief but intense affair with Hilary's husband, Christopher Kiffer Finzi. The memoirs depict Jacqueline as having fallen into an emotional void. She was desperate, lonely, misunderstood, and she sought comfort from the only person close to her at the time. The revelations immediately caused a wave of outrage and controversy in music circles and the media. Many criticized the du Pré family for invading her private memories. Daniel Barenboim, who had always remained silent about his marital woes, is said to have bitterly said, "Couldn't they have waited until I was dead?" While the details have been disputed by the public, one thing is undeniable. Jacqueline was an incredibly fragile soul. Although she was known for her dazzling confidence on stage, those close to her knew that behind her sparkling eyes was a constant fear that she was never good enough. Cellist Elizabeth Wilson once said that Jacqueline had incredible doubts about her worth. It was this innocence, this unguarded innocence, that made her deeply vulnerable. Barenboim once described her as absolutely innocent in the best sense of the word. And Toby Perlman, wife of the renowned violinist Itzhak Perlman, observed, "Jacqueline never hid anything. She showed herself as she was, and because she was wonderful, that truth was wonderful." The fiercest battle in Jacqueline's life, however, was not her emotional struggles, but multiple sclerosis, a silent, relentless enemy that robbed her of her hands, her freedom and, eventually, her musical voice. In the years before her official diagnosis, she was often tired, confused, and inexplicably troubled. When she was diagnosed with MS, it was a strange relief at least she knew what was destroying her. Barenboim's love, though real, could not help her through it all. In the 1980s, when Jacqueline could no longer perform, Barenboim began a new relationship with the pianist Elena Bashkirova, with whom he had 2 children while Jacqueline was still alive. He kept this secret from her until the end of his life. Some blame Barenboim for that, but others understand that he, too, was struggling in the dark, not to abandon, but to survive. The marriage between Jacqueline du Pré and Daniel Barenboim was not a flawless symphony. It was complex, intense, and sometimes chaotic like the two men. But despite its pain and flaws, it moved millions because it was real. Have you ever wondered how a talented artist like Jacqueline du Pré coped when illness deprived her of the ability to perform? Discover the emotional story of her battle with illness and music. The toll of illness on music. Multiple sclerosis, MS, silently attacked Jacqueline du Pré and devastated her brilliant career. From a very young age, around 16, du Pré felt strange changes in her body. The first signs of the disease were numbness in her fingertips, a feeling that she once considered a deep connection between herself and her cello. This feeling, the bridge that helped her feel and express each note with emotion through her skillful fingers. But over time, those feelings began to fade, and this gradually took away the perfect control that du Pré once had. In 1971, the obvious signs of MS aggravated du Pré's condition. Although she continued to perform, within 2 years, the disease forced her to give up her cello career at the age of 28, a tragic end to a great talent. This was painful for her, not only because she lost the ability to play, but also because she could no longer tell stories through music as she had before. For Jacqueline du Pré, the cello was more than just an instrument. She called it my beautiful secret, a place where she could express all her emotions, her sorrows, her joys, and her untold stories. The cello was her confidant, always accompanying her, bringing comfort when life was difficult. But as MS progressed, the bow lost its feeling in her hands, and the strings she once felt became only vague, uncontrollable sounds. This left du Pré unable to continue performing as before, and she relied instead on visual and auditory cues to guide her through her final performances. One of the most memorable moments came in February 1973, when Jacqueline du Pré gave her final concert in New York, performing the Brahms Double Concerto with Pinchas Zukerman and Leonard Bernstein conducting. The concert lasted only 3 of the 4 scheduled performances before she had to withdraw completely. The months leading up to her MS diagnosis were the most difficult of her life. She lived in a haze of uncertainty, not knowing whether she was dealing with a physical illness or a neurological problem. Each day, she battled with herself to find an explanation for the physical deterioration she could not explain. When she finally received her official diagnosis in October 1973, Jacqueline du Pré had an unexpected reaction. Rather than feeling depressed or disappointed, she felt an unexpected sense of relief. Her friend recalled that, upon receiving the news of her illness, du Pré called and said she felt relieved. This was a testament to the years of stress she had endured, and knowing the cause of her condition was a relief, despite the painful diagnosis. Although du Pré's performing career ended too soon, she maintained a positive and resilient public image. Together with her husband, Daniel Barenboim, Jacqueline founded the Jacqueline du Pré Research Foundation to support research into MS. She also continued teaching, although she admitted that it did not bring her the same satisfaction as being on stage and playing the cello. Du Pré remained optimistic, sometimes referring to her illness as gigalitis, a benign symptom that she used to describe her ability to temporarily forget her pain and laugh, maintaining her spirits despite her illness. Throughout Jacqueline du Pré's trying years, Daniel Barenboim was not only a loving husband, but also a steadfast companion, always ready to stand by her in her darkest moments. Could Barenboim's love and support have helped du Pré overcome the physical and emotional pain of her failing body? Supported by Daniel Barenboim. Throughout Jacqueline du Pré's battle with multiple sclerosis, MS, conductor Daniel Barenboim's response to his wife's illness was a testament not only to their deep love, but also to their devotion and the strain this devastating disease placed on their relationship. In particular, the couple's changing professional and personal lives presented them with many challenges, from days of loneliness and anxiety to maintaining Barenboim's busy career while caring for Jacqueline. In 1978, when du Pré's condition worsened, Barenboim immediately cancelled scheduled concerts to spend time at home caring for his wife. This sacrifice demonstrated not only his love, but also his commitment to his partner. Daniel Barenboim, a conductor known for his excellent organization, used his excellent management skills during this difficult period. His colleagues once described him as having a computer streak in his brain, meaning the ability to plan their schedules in meticulous detail, even predicting events months or years in advance. It was this skill that allowed the couple to maximize their time together, despite Barenboim's demanding work and busy performance schedules. Before Jacqueline was diagnosed with MS in 1969, Barenboim was able to organize their work and schedules in a way that few people could. His excellent time management skills became even more important as Jacqueline's health declined. While Barenboim continued to maintain his work, he also sought to alleviate the stress by reducing his performance schedule and creating opportunities for caregiving. In addition to providing for his wife's emotional and physical needs, Barenboim decided to set up the Jacqueline du Pré research project to raise funds for multiple sclerosis research. The project has attracted the participation of famous artists such as Arthur Rubinstein, Isaac Stern, and Zubin Mehta, who have all performed charity concerts to support MS research. Each year, the project raises around $1 million for MS research, helping to raise awareness of the disease and provide hope for those facing this devastating disease. Despite the challenges and great stress in their family life, Daniel Barenboim and Jacqueline du Pré's relationship has remained close. Their flat in Bayswater, although small and cramped to the point that, if Danny wanted to practice, Jacqueline had to sit up in bed or go to the toilet, reflected the closeness and affection between the two. However, as Jacqueline's mobility declined, the small flat became increasingly unsuitable for her condition, making it more difficult to care for her. Although Barenboim's conducting career required him to be absent from work for a long time, conflicting reports of his presence during Jacqueline's illness suggest that Barenboim did not abandon his wife. Some reports claim that Barenboim remained in regular contact by telephone during his absence, while others claim that he was absent for longer periods. Nevertheless, it is undeniable that Barenboim's presence in du Pré's life was an important factor in helping her through this difficult period. Jacqueline du Pré, despite her pain and physical weakness, always expressed gratitude to those who were by her side during her trying times. She shared, "You learn to appreciate what and who you love." Meanwhile, Nurse Ruth Ann Cannings, who cared for Jacqueline throughout her illness, always accompanied and supported her in her daily life. Barenboim's colleagues, especially the musicians who worked with him and Jacqueline, also expressed their respect and admiration for Barenboim's love and sacrifice. Cellist William Pleath, who was Jacqueline's main teacher, also noted Barenboim's brilliance when he said of Jacqueline's talent, "She can imagine sounds that I have never seen in any other musician." Ultimately, although their relationship faced its greatest challenges, Barenboim admitted that he learned much about music from his wife, Jacqueline du Pré. When Jacqueline du Pré shared her deep feelings about life with multiple sclerosis, the heartbreaking truth about her struggles not only shook her family and friends, but also drew a strong reaction from her fans. What did they think? Fans react. The revelation of Jacqueline du Pré's private struggles has sparked profound emotional responses from classical music enthusiasts worldwide. Unlike the polished narrative often presented by the press during her lifetime, these intimate confessions about her relationship with both her instrument and Daniel Barenboim have created a deeper connection between the celebrated cellist and her admirers. Since the emergence of personal details about du Pré's life, fans have established numerous tribute pages and discussion forums dedicated to preserving her musical legacy. On platforms like Facebook and Twitter, hashtags such as #remembering Jacqueline and #du Pré legacy have become gathering points for admirers sharing their emotional connections to her story. Many describe being moved to tears upon learning about her declaration that she could never live without playing the cello, a statement made all the more poignant by her subsequent inability to perform. One classical music blogger wrote, "Listening to her Elgar concerto recording after understanding her struggles transforms the experience entirely. The emotional depth suddenly has new meaning." Likewise, younger cellists frequently cite du Pré as their inspiration, with many posting performance tributes online accompanied by personal reflections on how her story has shaped their relationship with music. The enduring power of du Pré's narrative lies in its raw authenticity. Her story connects profoundly with contemporary audiences for several reasons. First, her openness about vulnerability contradicts the perfection-driven nature of classical music. Second, her experience with disability and chronic illness speaks to millions facing similar challenges. Third, the complex nature of her marriage to Barenboim illustrates the difficult balance between two artistic careers. Moreover, du Pré's legacy transcends her recordings. Her husband's continued musical evolution, including founding the West-Eastern Divan Orchestra in 1999, represents an extension of the artistic values they once shared. As new generations discover her recordings through streaming platforms, they simultaneously encounter the human story behind the extraordinary musicianship, finding in her struggle a timeless reminder of music's emotional essence. What do you think about Jacqueline's emotional sharing during the most difficult time of her life? Please share your thoughts in the comments section below. We would love to hear from you. And don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel for more interesting updates. Thank you and see you in the next videos.